Kia ora. Welcome to the Lightroom forecast. This is the new moon in Scorpio, which is on, today is the 4th here in Aotearoa, and I think that new moon in Scorpio is actually on today here in this hemisphere, and on the 5th in the northern hemisphere. So this is the reading today. We're doing a Celtic cross. Yes, I just thought of that. We'll do a Celtic cross. This is a collective reading, so it's an incredibly general reading. So we're just looking at the situation as it stands right now, globally, collectively, what's going on. Wow, yes, we have the lovers popping out in the central point. I'll go through, we'll get these cards out, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes, you know, when you're doing a reading like this, and it is very general, it's very collective, and certainly using this layout, we kind of get a story unfolding that is probably incredibly familiar to all of us as it stands right now, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be in the world. Current position, please. Current position. So, yeah. And moving forward. This is a shortened Celtic cross. So we've got 2 cards moving forward. Wow. I think November, just looking at the general astrology, and do check out some there's some really good channels on YouTube, people, astrologers. The Astrology Podcast with Chris Brennan and various other guests is always really informative. Okay, so here we are. Scorpio new moon. There are many other things going on too at the moment. So, yeah, good to check out some relevant information on YouTube in terms of astrologers. So, lovely people. The central point and what we are crossed by here, we come out first and foremost here with the beautiful lovers. Now, this is a card of, ultimately, depending on, obviously, the other cards in a spread, it can be about romantic love. In this case, we're looking at an integration, understanding dualities. The light informs the dark and vice versa. This is just what I hear. The Lovers is a card of choice. It's a card of integration of opposing elements. Maybe opposing is not the right word, but dual elements, dualities, polarities. We're kind of merging here. There is a sort of alchemy in this card with the Lovers. We say this here, and we see this here, that this integration of sorts, which is a sort of divine process. You know, the Hermit oversees this. There's a in the Lovers, there's an exchange of vows, commitments made, truth is seen. It is crossed by beautiful the fishing skeleton, Saturnian Bones, Mr. Bones. Here he is, death, transformation, huge shift, metamorphosis, the breaking down, the necessary breaking down and assimilation is what seems to be occurring now in a global sense in relation to what we're seeing in the story today for this new moon in Scorpio. Very scorpionic there, having death, metamorphosizing. It's a wonderful thing, though, the breaking down and the merging of fluids and chemical reactions, chemical process of breaking down. It's kind of is life, but it is and can be a very uncomfortable process. The basis of this here, yeah, I know, is the Two of Discs, a card in the Thoth deck, which is the card that we use here amongst others. We will pull out a few more, clarify, of course. Two of Discs, basis of this change. This is a period of shifts and changes. And the Two of Discs, the Thoth deck, it is called change. It is called change. We see Ouroboros, the great cosmic snake with the tail in mouth. Now, the Two of Discs describes a state where we're keeping... Oh, we've got a bit of a delay here. What is happening here? Bit of a delay. I think the internet sort of cuts out a little bit here sometimes. Anywho, what was I saying? The state of the Two of Discs is the basis of this reading, is about keeping a balance in great times of movement, of chaos. We're really juggling. We're like that cosmic snake who's doing his figure eight loop, that infinity sign. We're keeping a sort of stasis. We haven't quite made a move yet. We've not quite gone in a particular direction yet. This whole process is quite self-explanatory, is what we're seeing here. Is a period of transformation, that liminal space where we're walking through a gateway, a threshold. We're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of the eye of this storm of newness which is occurring around us, and we don't necessarily know what outcomes will be. I mean, I'm speaking collectively. Past position here, we have the moon. Maybe we see some clarity within the process by which we move through this month and into December. We know the moon really rules the unconscious, the subconscious, the underworld, if you call it that, if you want to call it that. Those elements within ourselves, within others that we don't necessarily see. Interesting. Now, so we may see some insights, as I said before, as we move through this process. This is not light, small change. This is big stuff. And it's almost as if it's happening in every individual's mind, emotional landscape in their lives in a practical sense. And it's happening in the world as a reflection of that. And the reflection is going backwards and forwards. We're so tuned in at the moment, it seems. Current position, wonderful card. We have the beautiful star. An Aquarian card. It's a card of bridging. I sort of hear bridging a gap. Healing. Being a conduit for that. Being a conduit for it, not only in your own life, but in relation to, relative to the sense that you are connected with other people and you're plugged into this world because you're a part of it. The Star is a beautiful card. Dreams, wishes coming true, potentials coming true, a kind of baptism of sorts. Again, a process that can take time, that can take quite a bit of time. As we head into the near future here with this, so there's a massive sort of like, we're trying to integrate, we're trying to assimilate, we're trying to figure things out, we're sort of, there's a light and a dark. I'm not to say that they're essentially separate, but we need to figure out our light and our dark within ourselves. It all starts from the one. And then we kind of ideally see, oh God, I feel a bit tongue-tied. We see we see our ability to be able to do this out in the world. In terms of politics or the way that things work, you know. The structures are obviously appearing to have come to a point. I'm talking structures of the way that everything that this society is based on, I suppose, largely about making money, primarily, and things. That those priorities are altering collectively, individually, anyway. Moving forward, and we will clarify a little bit with some more cards for you. Moving forward, we have, and this is, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people probably feeling like this at the moment. We have the Nine of Swords, a card of catastrophic thinking and worry, nightmares, worrying, worry. It is coming to the end of that cycle, of that suit, very much a mind suit. Both of these cards are. With the 9, we step back a little bit and we have the 8. This is about limitation. The key here is to understand your self-limitations here. To understand maybe where you've held yourself back. We can't hold back the dam, as it were. You know, we can't hold that. We can be in this position where we are here, keeping a balance. Stacey's, we know at some point things are really going to shift. So we look here with the 8 of Swords. You know, the need to really think out of the box, whatever that is. I hate that term, but whatever the box, if you work with boxes, if everything fits into a box, we've really been challenged here to step out of that mode of thought. Not only for ourselves, but for the entire, you know, global community, I suppose. Anyway, let's just get a few more cards to sum this up. So it's pretty clear as mud, clear as day, actually, that there's, you know, we're really in the eye of a storm of sorts here. And we can see, you know, things, just get some Pixie and Fairy card, a couple of Pixie and Fairy cards to to just clarify this reading because it is very clear and it is very clear. Okay, so we've got 3 cards from the Pixies and Fairies. We have beautiful He of the Fiery Sword. This is about truth. You know, truth. Many things, many different things to many different people. But we tread lightly, we tread carefully in our expression of our own truth. We certainly don't expect others, do we, to have necessarily the same truths. Here we have unity, very important. Unity. Unity. In the end, it's compassion. In the end, it's really living in a way where we clearly understand that we are all connected here. Differences of opinion or whatever it is, we are still connected. We need to find a balance. We need to find some peace. And lastly, with the Pixies and Fairies, we've got a bit of a delay happening. I think it might be something about the moving tree. Speaking of trees, we have the green. We have the green woman. We have the green woman. This is about protecting not only your internal home, that is your inner core. Right, there's something wrong with the camera, I think. Let's just see. This is your internal home as much as it is laying boundaries, respecting others' boundaries, and knowing your own. Because when you know your own, there's no confusion. It is a work in progress. I know, sometimes a lifetime work, but nevertheless, well worth it. The green woman, it's also about, I always think of Cancer when I see this card, because it is like, yeah, I know I know where my shell ends and where my essence lies, where I am. And I know where my shell ends on the outside of that, and the rest of the world begins. It doesn't mean we aren't connected. It just means we have good boundaries. So that's pretty amazing. And we'll just get a journey map and an animal spirit card from beautiful Kim Kranz's deck to top this reading off. It is pretty self-explanatory. As I say that, we get the CIA. This is a card of the heart, and realizing that from whence all things come, all return to. This is the power of heart energy, the power of, those moments where you don't forget those moments. They might happen to you a lot. They might not, only occasionally, but don't forget those moments where we're absolutely bathed in this love sort of energy. But we get an insight into a kind of level of love, and there are many different names and ways of loving. But when we get that glimpse, when we feel it, we don't just understand it intellectually. That's easy. But when we feel it, and we get this wave of an understanding and an outpouring of unconditional love. This is what this card is all about. And that everything comes down to that. Everything. There's a magnetic pulsing two-way exchange here. And a little animal card. Oh, beautiful. We have the bear, such a long time in hibernation. So protective. Such a long time in a state of containment, darkness, hibernation. And then the sun shifts. The sun gets higher in the sky. And we come out. And we start all over again. Another season. This is a beautiful card to get here in this reading. Anyway, thank you for joining me. That's the collective reading for this new moon in Scorpio, a very poor charged time. So let's hold on to our hats over November and take good care. And I will be coming in today and tomorrow with the other astro signs, so do check them out. Cross-watching, whatever's, check out your ascendant moon, Venus, and Jupiter as well, because that can be quite insightful if they do resonate for you. And remembering, as always, they are very general readings. So thanks for joining me today. I hope it's sunny where you are. It's a little bit grey here, but it's still pretty fresh. Okay, ka kite, bye.